Hey church family, Kyle here with Testimony Tuesday, first one of the new year. So first testimony is from this past Sunday, New Year's Day. I was invited in to speak at a church called Northwest Fellowship, an amazing church that's been in the area for a long time. I was invited in to teach on fasting and prayer. And at the end of the message, two different people came up with a really similar testimony. And on that specific morning, one of them was laying in bed and the Lord told them to go to this specific church, which happened to be the church I was speaking at. The Lord had been dealing with this person on the issue of fasting recently. She walks in, had never been to the church for a Sunday service before, and the message is on fasting. And so she was so encouraged that she heard God's voice and God was speaking to her so clearly. The other testimony from this day was that a young man who's a father of two, he's currently engaged to his fiance right now. He was on his way to work on Sunday morning on New Year's Day, and something told him to pull into the parking lot and come to this church service. He had never been here before. He walks in, sits on the front row, and is so encouraged and stirred by the message, the worship, everything there on that Sunday morning, that there was a clear signing back up again in his heart to go wholeheartedly after God in this new year. And so two separate people were drawn by the Lord to this church. And it reminded me of that verse in John where Jesus said, "If I am lifted up, I will draw all people to myself," is what he said. And so if we simply lift Jesus up in our prayers, our worship, our preaching, God himself will draw people to himself. It's so fun. Last testimony is from our own Kathleen Horn. She had been sick and homebound for over a week. Really desired to come to church on New Year's Day, but was given about a 5% chance that she would be well enough to make it. Sure enough, God made her well enough overnight on New Year's Eve leading into New Year's Day to where she was able to come and be with her church family on January 1st. So I want to encourage you guys as we go into 2023, please, if there's any story of God's goodness or power in your life or flowing through your life or a story that you hear, please send that in to me so I can include it in Testimony Tuesday so we can give all the praise and glory to God. So good news goes viral, good news of God's hand in the earth rather than all the other news that's on the mainstream media. We want God's news to go forth. So please send me in any testimony of God's goodness that you get. Love you guys, and I'll see y'all next week.